we were wondering if Brian Snitker was going to continue to manage the Atlanta Braves, and that will not be the case. This is it for him. So the 2025 season is his last as a manager in baseball. He'll stay with the team in an advisory role. Thoughts on this and how this goes down behind the scenes?
I think this was ultimately Snit's decision. I know I had talked to him about this when I saw him, and I was there when he managed his first game and won his first game. I was on the team in 2016. He's 70-ish years old, and this was his 49th year with the Braves organization. Next year would be the 50th. I know he didn't just want to completely get out of it, but he also said, I don't know that I want to go through 162 games as the manager. So I think that's what led to this decision from Snit, and ultimately it was Snit's. But hey, you know what? God bless you, Snit. I hope you get that 50th year with Atlanta. I know you're going to go into an advisory role. Just, do what you do, man. At some point, listen, here's the thing about Snit. He has grandkids he loves spending time with, and he gets an opportunity now to go and spend time with them. So God bless you, Snit. Enjoy the rest of your life, man, and you've had a great run. You won a World Series, something only two managers in the history of Atlanta in any sport can say. You and Bobby Cox are the only two guys to ever win a professional sports championship in Atlanta.
And he's seen this organization for 49 years. That's such an impressive number. But let's say, only for hypothetical, that AA, Alex Anthopoulos, goes to him and says, hey, you want to manage again this year? And Snit says, do you want me to manage again this year? If I'm Alex Anthopoulos, I say, our winning window is right now. If you're not full 100% in, because maybe I'm thinking I might manage, I might not. Okay, I'm in. Okay, then what are you going to change from this year would be the next question to Alex Anthopoulos. Because something has to change. You can't just always say, all right, the injuries. Yes, the injuries are a thing. But other teams have injuries, some not as big as the Braves. How are you going to make a change? Because to me, I think there does need to be some type of change because it's not going to happen with personnel on the field. The team he has is the team that I think they're going to give him, adding a piece here or there.
But what are you saying? You wanted him to keep going or what?
No, I'm saying that that's a conversation. I don't think Alex Anthopoulos was just saying, hey, do you want to manage next year? No, I'd rather not. Okay, we'll move on. To me, if he says, yes, I want to manage next year, Alex Anthopoulos isn't firing him. But if you're a good GM, which I know Alex Anthopoulos is, he's built this team, he's given these extensions, good or bad, they've put a good product out there, you need to have an answer of what are you changing? How is it going to be different? Because you play the same 8 guys every single day for the entire season, which I think is a bonus. You've played this whole time without a shortstop. That's comparable to the other players around the field. But you have to have something that he's going to change. You can't just say, we're just going to go out there and see, throw the balls out there and see what the boys do. No, I think he needs to have a plan. How are we going to do something different?
Okay, I have a plan. I'm going to sign a shortstop, and I'm going to cross my fingers that not all 5 starters are missing a good chunk of the year. That's step 1.
Yeah.
Braves finished strong.
Yeah.
Does anybody think the Braves are in a bad spot for next year?
No. They need Austin Riley back. He missed a chunk of the year.
Yep.
What do they do with Albies? They got to make that decision.
Yep. He's going to come back.
I mean, yes. Is Baldwin or Murphy your catcher?
Both.
Or do you trade
I have all
Murphy?
the answers.
You try and trade Murphy?
Maybe, but I think they're both
Matt
back.
Olson had a nice year. Michael Harris needs to be second half Michael Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Acuna needs to stay healthy because once he came back, he was pretty good. And then you got to figure out the bullpen. Iglesias is a free agent. You're going to have to make some bullpen moves.
Yeah, but that's not on Snit. That's on Alex.
I know. But
yeah.
Snit maybe just didn't want to do it. Like I said, Snit's been doing this for a long time.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying.
They probably went to Snit and said, hey, you can manage again, or you can work once a month and make a travel to the minor leagues and come around and this and that. It's just that don't sound so bad.
I think, I'm also pointing out probably some of the minority online, but some people were like, oh, Snit, he's got to be gone. This is the problem. Shut up.
No.
This has nothing to do with Snit this year.
People love Snit.
Yeah. And I think he should get the ultimate respect. They'll obviously honor him at the ballpark. I think it's kind of cool if you had figured this out like with a week or two to go because the team wasn't in it, and then you get to be in uniform and get the thanks. I know he didn't know, but like go to dinner with Alex and like sit down and think about it.
This was a Snit decision.
It's okay. I mean, he's going to get honored. It's fine, right? I love Snit. I thought he did a great job. He's super emotional. They all show up at the press conference today. Kratz, he says he feels like he left the team in a better spot than when he entered. I would agree with that. And you brought them a World Series title, and you brought them consistent winning. I mean, you can't ask for much more. Nobody wins back-to-back or even bunches titles together in a while now, right? So what he did is about as much as you can wish for if you're a baseball fan.
If you look at their 5 starters that were supposed to start games for them this year, it is ridiculous. The fact that Spencer Strider, I think, had the most starts, and he didn't come back from the injury very well. Like he didn't have the life on his fastball. Not everybody comes back from Tommy John the first year and is exactly who they were before. Not everybody, but it's crazy. Schwellenbach was down. Did they get a single start out of Reynaldo Lopez, who was an all-star last year? Like you are
a couple early.
Yeah, I don't remember when he went down, but it's crazy. Like you build a team, and then you were trying to. The Braves do better than I think any organization, calling guys up that step in and are huge contributors to the starting rotation. Huge. Schwellenbach just did it just the other year. Smith-Shawver just did it the other year. But when you have to do it for all 5 guys, that's almost impossible. Even the Dodgers struggled with that. And they had 10 starters to begin the season.
Yeah, Hurston Waldrop, you mentioned. He had a really nice find himself moment here with the team.
My X Factor just drove in too for Detroit, by the way.
Very nice. So anyway, congratulations to Snit. Let's move on because there are a number of other manager and front office changes going on. Let's hit one that won't take up too much time, but Bill Schmidt has been running point for the Rockies for a minute. He's the GM. And he decided that he's going to step down. You never know how the conversations go behind the scenes, but he said he felt like the team needed to go in a different direction. I don't doubt that based on how the Rockies performed this year and the past few years.
He's been there for so long.
He's been there for a long time. I mean, he was in a secondary role. Yeah, and now he's leading the pack, but they need something else. I mean, the Rockies are going to do an external search, and if there's one team that needs to think outside the box more than anyone else, it's Colorado. It's such a unique environment. It's so difficult.
You got to go crazy there.
Crazy. And nobody's going to care. Rockies fans are all for whatever you want to do. First of all, they're going to show up. Second of all,
you're good for anything.
They're like, try it out. I think we're in a place now where I'm going to mention this. I don't remember the exact details, but Dan O'Dowd, I think later in his tenure was trying some piggybacking and some other things. And I think if he had done that now, people would be like, yep, let's try that kind of stuff. It was a little early because people were like a little more get off my lawn still back then.
I did talk to some people there in Colorado that know the organization a little bit. And the thing about Dan O'Dowd is like, you got to get sinker ballers. You got to get sinker ballers. And these people are saying, actually, no, you need to get fly ball pitchers and weak contact guys that throw the four-seamer up and get pop-ups and get strikeouts because that way it limits the balls in play. If sinker ballers can't make the ball sink, guess where it sinks? Over the fence.
Right. And you need 3 center fielders.
And you need 3 athletic as hell guys. You need dudes that can mash. When have the Rockies been good?
When they mash.
When they mash.
I want infield mash, outfield track
defense,
stars.
And I need guys that can get punch outs.
Mm-hmm.
So you need high velo, high guys up in the zone.
And all of what we're saying is not easy to assemble.
No, I know. But I'm just saying you got to try something different.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying these sinker ballers, and as soon as they make one mistake, they get whacked. They don't have a lot of high velo guys.
I think they do have a lot of high velo guys, but I think the pitching only just hit on one specific thing. No. Out of the pen, they've thrown a bunch of guys. They don't throw strikes. They're not developing them in the minor leagues to be able to throw strikes. They're rushing them to the big leagues because they throw 97 to 100. And then in the big leagues, guys are just like, no, ball. My argument to that, AJ, would be no place in the big leagues has as poor of or has a larger variance of induced vertical break than in Colorado. So guys that have 17 inches of induced vertical break, which is just medium across the board, it's like 1.5 inches less in Colorado. So they're not getting that induced break. But guys have had great seasons there. Like, it's not what do those guys do and then mimic that. Jorge De La Rosa had a great career there. Kyle Freeland, I think he was like almost an 8-WAR player his second year, I think like 17 or 18. What do they do? Mimic that.
Ubaldo. Also, if you get
Ubaldo
somebody
was a high fastball split guy.
if you get somebody
Jorge
who
De La
has
Rosa,
sick
split.
Good first
IVB,
half.
then but also somebody you're saying the induced vertical break goes down. Well, then get somebody who is like top 10%,
Yeah.
and then it's not going to be
Yeah.
as much of a factor.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get the, like, if you get Josh Hader, if you get Jonah Tong, two dudes, I'm just thinking about like unique guys with like induced vertical break, that's gonna go down. So maybe there's something in that formula, if you're all about the analytics, that's going to give you those answers. Like Jorge De La Rosa, the only reason I would keep bringing him up is because he grew up in Mexico City. He pitched at higher elevation. There's something to do with that, and they need to just hammer that. They need to hammer it and say, no, the rest of the league's doing this. We're going to do this. If it doesn't work, where are they? They're the same place they are now with 44 wins.
Yeah, and Kyle Freeland did that, for the record. He grew up in Denver. He's an average. His numbers, park factor in, have been an average starter, which is fine. He's a 3-4 starter for them in that scenario. His ERA looks bad, but his numbers look good.